In this class, let us learn about the spherical refracting surface. So, spherical refracting surface is just the part of the solid sphere. So, it is the part of the solid sphere. So in that basically we have two types: convex spherical surface and concave spherical surface. So convex spherical surface is the surface which is towards the rarer medium, and it is known as the convex spherical surface. So if I put that in a diagram form, so the surface or the sphere surface which is at rarer side forms the convex spherical surface. So this is denser medium, this is rarer medium. So concave is opposite to this. So here refracting surface will be, or the concave surface towards the rarer medium. So if convex surface is towards the rarer medium, then we call it as a convex spherical surface. If concave surface is towards the rarer medium, then we call it as concave spherical surface. So we saw how the refraction of light occurs when you have two medium, rarer medium and denser medium. So we denoted rarer medium as N1 and denser medium as N2, and we tried to find how the refraction of light occurs when a ray of light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, or when it travels from denser medium to rarer medium. So these are the two types of spherical refracting surface. So in this class, we are going to learn the Smith-Helmholtz equation and Lagrange law. Before that, we need to understand the angular magnification and linear magnification. So linear magnification is it is the ratio of size of image to the size of object. So image size can be denoted as h prime and object size is denoted as h. So the ratio of image size to the object size will give linear magnification. So if I write this in an equation form, M here denotes the magnification. This can be written as, for linear magnification, it is just h prime by h. Or the linear magnification can also be written as n1 by n2 multiplied by v by u. Here n1 is the refractive index of the medium 1 and n2 is the refractive index of medium 2. Here this v is the image distance, u is the object distance. So these are the two equations that comes under the linear magnification of the object. So now the next thing is angular magnification. So this is the ratio of angle subtended by the ratio of tangents of angle subtended by the image to the tangents of angle subtended by the object. So it is the ratio of tangents of the angles subtended by an image to its object. So this angular magnification can be written as tan of theta 2 by tan theta 1. So from this linear magnification and angular magnification, let us try to understand how the Smith-Helmholtz derived the equation that relates the refractive index of first medium with the height of the object with the tan of the angle of the object to the refractive index of the second medium and height of the image and tan of the angle of the image. So let us see the Smith-Helmholtz equation. Smith-Helmholtz equation and Lagrange law. So it is a small derivation wherein you will understand how N1H1 tan theta 1 is related to N2H2 tan theta 2. So to understand this, we need a convex refracting or spherical refracting surface So this is the principal axis. So now here you have an object AB in a medium N1 of refractive index N1, and this is the tensor medium of refractive index N2. So now let us incident a ray from A on the spherical refracting surface with an angle theta 1. Now what will happen? This incident ray will get refracted towards the normal. Why? Because it is traveling from rarer medium to denser medium. So let us draw the center. So if this is the center of the sphere, then if you draw the line from center, then the incident ray will get refracted towards the normal. So this is the incident ray and this gets refracted towards the normal. So this is the first thing, and the angle formed by the refracted ray will be theta 2. Now what will happen? Another ray from point B passes through the center of the sphere and falls here. Now this forms the image. So here the light ray from A hits the spherical refracting surface and the refracted ray falls here. So this point will be A prime, and the ray which is coming from B will pass through the center of sphere and falls here. So this is B prime. So AB is object and A prime, B prime is image. So the object distance from the point P will be what? It will be U, and image distance from the point P will be V. And here PC forms the radius of the sphere, and that can be given as R, capital R. So now here it forms the incident angle, and here it is the refracted angle. So from this diagram we need to derive the Smith-Helmholtz equation. So let us start. So before getting the equation, we need to have the angular magnification. So angular magnification alpha or m will be equals to tan theta 2 by tan theta 1. So now we need to understand what is the tan theta from the diagram and tan theta 1 from the diagram. So to get tan theta 1, so we need to consider a triangle. So that is, let us name here, let this point be M. So to get tan theta 1, we need to consider a triangle MPA. That is MPA. So from triangle MPA, we can write tan theta 1 will be what? So opposite by base. So MP by AM. MP, which is divided by AP. So MP divided by AP will give you tan theta 1. So this forms the hypotenuse side of the triangle. So we know what is AP. AP is the object distance, that is U. So MP divided by U. So tan of theta 1 will be equals to MP by U. Next we need tan theta. To get tan theta 2, we need to consider a triangle MPA prime. So here MPA prime. So tan theta will be what? Tan theta will be MP by A prime P. Tan theta 2 is equals to MP by A prime P. So we know the A prime P as V. MP divided by P. So tan of theta 2 is equals to MP divided by V. So from the diagram we got tan theta 1 and tan theta 2. So let us substitute both this equation in the angular magnification. Alpha is equals to tan of theta 2 by tan of theta 1. So which can be written as tan of theta 2 is MP divided by V, and tan of theta 1 is MP divided by U. So here MP will get cancelled. What remains is U by V. So alpha, or angular magnification, can be written as the ratio of object distance to the image distance. So this is a unitless quantity. Alpha is U by V. So we got the angular magnification. Now we need to understand the linear magnification. So linear magnification can be given as what? The ratio of height of image to the height of object. So let us write that linear magnification M is equals to H2 divided by H1. This can also be written as N1, refractive index of first medium, to refractive index of second medium, which is again multiplied by V by U. So V here is the image distance, U is the object distance. So now if you rewrite this equation, so H2 by H1 is equals to N1V by N2U. So bring UV to the left hand side. H2U by H1V will be equals to N1 by N2. So the ratio of refractive index of first medium to the refractive index of second medium is equals to height of the image divided by height of object, which is multiplied by U by V. Now from the angular magnification we know alpha is equals to U by V. So here we have U by V. Substitute alpha here, or theta 2, tan of theta 2 by theta 1. H2 by H1 can also be written H2 by H1 multiplied by tan of theta 2 divided by tan of theta 1, which is equals to N1 by N2. So this is what? This is linear magnification. Multiplied with this is angular magnification. Will give you what? N1 divided by N2. So the product of linear magnification and angular magnification will give you N1 by N2. So now let us rewrite this equation as, so N2 H2 tan of theta 2 is equals to N1 H1 tan of theta 1. So if you bring this to this side, N1 H1 tan of theta 1 is equals to N2 H2 tan of theta 2. So this is the Smith-Helmholtz equation. So this is Smith-Helmholtz equation. So this gives the relation between image and object in terms of n, h and theta. So now here in the diagram, if you see, the incident and the refracted rays are the paraxial rays. That means the angle made by the principal axis to these rays will be very small. So we can take tan theta 1 as theta 1 and tan theta 2 as theta 2. So tan theta 1 is equals to theta 1 and tan theta 2 is equals to theta 2. So now this equation comes out to be N1 H1 theta 1, which is equals to N2 H2 theta 2. So this equation here is known as Lagrange's law. So this is known as Lagrange's law. So if the angle is small, then you get the Lagrange's law. If you write it in terms of tan of theta 1 and theta 2, then that will give you the Smith-Helmholtz equation. Next, let us understand the Abbe's sine rule. So in that we will get N1H1 sine of theta 1, which will be equals to N2H2 sine of theta 2. So that condition can be known as Abbe's sine condition. So there is again a small derivation for this. Now let us do the equation for Abbe's sine rule. So here we get equation something like N1H1 sine of theta 1, which will be equals to N2H2 sine of theta 2. So to derive this equation, again we need a spherical refracting surface with a line passing from the center of the spherical refracting surface. Let this point be P. There is an image, let's suppose A, B. Now a ray, or let this be the center of the sphere or the center of curvature. Now a light ray from point A travels in a medium N1, that is the refractive index of medium 1, and hits the spherical surface, and there is a normal to the spherical refracting surface, let that be M. So this incident angle makes an angle I with a normal to the curvature. Now this incident ray is traveling from refractive index N1 to the refractive index N2. Since this medium is rarer medium, the light will get refracted towards the normal and away from the surface. So this line goes and falls here. So let this be point A prime. This is the refracted ray with an angle R. Now let us draw a straight line from B which passes the center of curvature. So this is the straight line which passes from the center of curvature, and that falls here. So if you draw the straight line from A prime to this line, then this gives the B prime. The direction of this ray is this. So now from the figure, I and R are the incident and the refracted rays. So this is the diagram. So here A forms theta 1 angle with the principal axis, and A prime forms theta 2 with the principal axis. So now from triangle AMC, so that is AMC, we can write sine of pi minus I. Why pi minus I? So here the angle is 180 minus the incident angle. That's why the sine of pi minus I, or sine of 180 minus theta, will give you sine of theta, that is sine I. So sine I from this triangle AMC will be equals to AC divided by AM. AC divided by AM. So This is sine I, which is equals to AC by AM. Now let us see the sine of theta 1. Sine of theta 1 will be equals to MC, that is opposite line to the hypotenuse AM. So this is for sine of theta 1 and this is for sine I. So now if you take the ratio of sine I by sine theta 1, sine I by sine theta 1, what you will get? Sine I was AC divided by AM and sine theta 1 was MC divided by AM. So from this AM gets cancelled. What remains is sine I by sine theta 1 AC divided by MC. So let us call this equation as equation 1. So sine I by sine theta 1 is equals to AC divided by MC. Similarly, let us consider another triangle MCA prime. So from triangle MCA prime, so here is the triangle MCA prime. So from this triangle, if you write sine R will be what? Opposite A prime C divided by MA prime. Opposite divided by hypotenuse. A prime C divided by MA prime. Now if you write sine theta 2 will be what? MC divided by MA prime. So let us write that. Here for triangle MCA prime, sine R will be equals to A prime C divided by MA prime and sine of theta 2 will be equals to MC divided by MA prime. So these are the two equations that we got from the triangle MCA prime. So now let us take the ratio of sine R divided by sine of theta 2. So what will be the equation? A prime C divided by MA prime. Sine of theta 2 is MC divided by MA prime. So MA prime will get cancelled. What remains is sine R by sine of theta 2, which is equals to A prime C divided by MC. Let us call this equation as equation number 2. So now dividing equation 1 with equation 2, let us see what we will get. We will get sine I by sine R or sine I. So let me write. So divide equation 1 with equation 2. So equation 1 was sine I by sine theta 1. That is sine I divided by sine theta 1, which is AC divided by MC. So this is again divided by sine R, that is equation 2, sine theta 2, which is equals to what? A prime C divided by MC. So here MC will get cancelled. What remained is sine I by sine theta 1, which is equals to AC whole divided by sine R divided by sine of theta 2. This is divided by A prime C. Now if you write this equation in terms of sin I by sin R, then you will get sin I by sin R will be equals to AC divided by A prime C. So this sin theta will goes to other side, so that will become multiplication to AC sin theta 1 divided by sin of theta 2. So sin I by sin R is equals to AC divided by A prime C, which is multiplied by sin theta 1 divided by sin theta 2. Let us call this equation as equation number 3. So in last lectures we saw the sine rule. So not sure we understood the Snell's law. Snell's law is which is sin I by sin R is equals to the refractive index of second medium to the refractive index of first medium. So let us substitute this Snell's law in equation 3. So here we have to substitute sin I by sin R as n2 by n1. So let us substitute this in equation 3. n2 by n1 will give you what? AC by A prime C, which is multiplied by sin of theta 1 divided by sin of theta 2. So now you have a relation wherein you are connected the refractive index of a medium to the sine of theta 1, and there is one more term AC. So let us write this AC and A prime C in terms of height of an object and image. So if I rewrite this equation, n2 will be equal to A prime C sin theta 2 and n1 will be equals to AC sin theta 1. So n1 AC sin theta 1 is equals to n2 A prime C sin theta 2. So here AC and A prime C needs to be replaced with height of the image and height of the object. So our last equation was n1 AC sin theta 1 is equals to n2 A prime C sin theta 2. So let us call this equation as equation number 4. So now, from the similar triangle ABC and A prime, triangle ABC and A prime B prime C, so you will get A prime by C divided by AC as A prime B prime divided by AB. So A prime B prime is the height of the image and AB is height of the object H1. So now let us substitute this A prime C and AC in equation 4. So n1 AC sin theta 1 is equals to n2 A prime C sin theta 2. So AC here is H1, A prime C is H2. N1 H1 sin theta 1 is equals to n2 H2 sin theta 2. So this is the final equation, and this condition is known as Abbe's sign condition. So in this you get a relation between n1 h1 sin theta 1 to the n2 h2 sin theta 2. So these are the conditions for image, and these are the conditions for object. So here you are relating the terms of object to the terms of image.